Hi, my name is Sky, and this is my idea for a unique form of democracy. I apologize about the previous video, by the way, that was pretty poorly put together. Okay, so start with this basic idea. City-state. You have 100 men elected to a Senate. Now, the Senate is organized, or they're organized into men like 1 through 100, so each man's on a roster. And what happens is, the beginning of each day, a president for the day is picked. So you start with number 1. Whoever's number 1 is picked to be the president for that day. He organizes and leads all of the actions that need to be taken for that day. Now, so as soon as that is done, it is then decided, okay, what is the first order of business? And I want to say you have like a docket or some sort of listing of all the different actions that need to be, basically deliberated on and voted on. So you can have an important issue or a least important issue. But whoever's number 2 on the roster is picked to present issue number 1. And so, like, say issue number 1 is like taxes. So, okay, we need to figure out what to do with taxes. So, because the man is roster position, because the man in roster position number 2 is there at random, it's up to him to decide if he chooses to accept presenting that information or not. If he declines, then it goes to number 3. If that guy declines, number 4. However, if somebody says, I want to present this information to the Senate, if a quick vote can be taken, yays versus nays, and if it's obviously more yays than nays, that person can step forward and present the information on that issue. Once presented, depending on the issue, and also this can be determined by previous precedent, either a majority of 50 to 51% or a 2/3 vote is required for an issue to pass and to be accepted. Now, for a primitive society, without modern conveniences of medicine and the like, I was thinking that, okay, each guy is elected to office for a period of 10 years. And so since you have 100 guys, you stagger them out so that each year you're losing 10 guys, each year you're gaining 10 guys. And that way you're also, the new people being elected into office reflect the changing sentiments and outlook of the population that's being ruled over. So you have this old guard, which are going to maintain a certain status quo, and try to maintain a certain order that they understand. And then you have new people who will seek to create change. And eventually, what's going to happen is that the younger people are going to be indoctrinated to the older, along with the older people. Their opinions and minds will change on any particular issue as time goes on and as they're influenced by their fellows. And the end result is you should have a much more balanced and reflective body politic that represents your nation state. So this is an idea that I'm going to try to explore in a story later on. But so one of the other ideas and issues I was thinking of, like, okay, so use our own, use the United States as a base example. Okay, so Katrina. Hurricane Katrina devastates a piece of land in your nation. Action needs to be taken, immediate action needs to be taken. The Senate meets for the day, or convenes for the day. The man on the roster is picked to be the president, and that man can, if he wants, decide we need to take immediate action. All other business needs to stop until we have a satisfactory resolution on the course of action, what to do with the effect that Katrina has had. I need, therefore I call for a vote and suggest that we have one person in charge of the recovery elements, or the recovery efforts as a result of Katrina. And so a name can be proposed, or they go to the roster and say, okay, roster number 5, you are selected as, you know, the person that's going to be the executor of this plan of action. And if man at roster number 5 says, no, I decline, then number 6, and so forth. And hopefully you would have a guy say, hey, I volunteer, I want to take up charge of this. Or somebody can say, I nominate so-and-so to do this. And you have a vote, and it decides from there if that person will be in charge of it. Now, the other thing I mentioned was that so because of this, nobody is exactly assigned to things. You do have certain areas of the government which are going to require more permanent leadership, more permanent staff operating them. And so for cases like that, you have committees. You have various committees in charge of, you have like a war committee, an economics committee, a health and welfare committee. You know, so any sort of facet that the government is in control of, that they feel needs to have a more permanent, stable group of people working on it, that is the staff that's created. But the person that oversees that is a senator, and the senators can take on or shrug off as much responsibility as they want, or feel they can handle. So you can have guys take on a lot of responsibility. You can have guys that just they keep not taking responsibility. And the thing is, if there is a considered conclusion, or at the end of if it's a permanent spot, like say the Secretary of War, like the guy in charge of the War Department, at the end of each year, you call that guy forward and say, okay, so let's see what you've done in the past year, and you can even have a vote. Or if somebody can say, I think that this person has been negligent, done a bad job, he needs to be reprimanded for this, and a vote can be called to decide what should be the what is determined. Like, you stage a impromptu trial, so to speak, and it's amongst the Senate. It's kept organized by the president. Let's see. So what else? And yeah, so I think that's about it. I hope you guys. I don't know. Tell me what you guys think.